Gru is back.
No. Baby powder.
And I'm not just talking about child Gru either.
Language. Right, Gru Jr., come on.
After 7 years of waiting, the bald-headed, pointy-nosed, villainous Father of the Year is back, and he's brought the gorls, Lucy, and a brand new baby to boot. To celebrate, we've put together a quick compilation to help you relive all your favorite Despicable Me memories. Welcome back to Channel Frederator. I'm Keegan, and today we're going to kick things off with all the latest and greatest facts about Despicable Me. Specifically, 107 Despicable Me 4 facts that you should know. Grab some safety goggles because these ones come with a splash warning.
1. One of the first inklings of information that we ever got of Despicable Me 4 came as early as 2017 during an interview with Bloomberg, which was a whopping 7 years ago, if you believe it or not. Number 2. Chris Renaud returns to direct Despicable Me 4. Renaud previously directed the first and second films in the series, but shifted to producer position for the third. Number 3. Joining Renaud for Despicable Me 4 are Patrick Delage and Mike White, co-director and writer respectively. Delage has worked on previous films in the series, but this will be Mike White's first Despicable Me film. Number 4. With the release of Despicable Me 4, Illumination Entertainment now has a quadrilogy in the portfolio of films. Number 5. Now, that doesn't mean it's the 4th film in the franchise, that just means that the series has 4 films. Now, if we're talking about franchise, there are 6 theatrical films, which include the 2 Minions movies. Isn't that kinda nuts? Number 6. According to Renaud, several returning characters had their rigs and surfaces updated for this sequel. For example, one particular character, Fred McDade, hasn't been seen since Despicable Me 2, so he definitely needed an upgrade. Number 7. According to Miranda Cosgrove, the voice for Margot, and Joey King in an interview, a lot of the actors weren't together to record the film and had only just met prior to the film's release. Number 8. That being said, Gru's entire family makes a return. Of course, you can't have Gru without having Steve Carell, who returns to voice Gru. Number 9. Kristen Wiig returns to voice Lucy Wilde, Gru's wife and the mother figure for the family. Number 10. As mentioned a bit earlier, Miranda Cosgrove returns to voice Margot, the eldest adopted daughter in the family. Number 11. Edith sees Dana Geyer reprise her role as the middle adopted daughter. 12. Despite Agnes returning as well, Madison Poland replaces Nev Sherrill as the voice of Agnes. Number 13. You might think that rounds out Gru's family in Despicable Me 4, but there's a new addition to the family. Gru and Lucy's biological son, Gru Jr. Number 14. Even though he's called Gru Jr., his full name is Felonious Gru Jr., just like his dad. Number 15. Gru Jr. is voiced by the amazing Tara Strong, a veteran actress with many popular voice roles such as Timmy Turner from The Fairly OddParents, Raven from Teen Titans, and Bubbles from the original Powerpuff Girls TV series. Number 16. In the film, Gru Jr. is already 6 months old, indicating that a long time has passed since Despicable Me 3. Number 17. Gru Jr. takes after his father very much, despite seemingly not liking him as much as Lucy. In fact, Gru Jr. shares a signature piece of clothing, the scarf. 18. Throughout the film, Gru uses his minions to help take care of Gru Jr. These specific minions sport pit crew outfits similar to those seen on NASCAR, and are known as the Gru Pit Crew. Number 19. Margot is known to wear a shirt referencing characters outside of the Despicable Me franchise. In Despicable Me, it was the Lorax, in 2, it was Wangan-kun, and 3, it was the Grinch. For Despicable Me 4, it's an outline of a human head, which is a deep reference because it references the clothing brand Braindead, who partners with Illumination on merch from time to time. 20. Despicable Me 4 reveals that Gru attended Lycée Passebon, a school for villains and villainy. 21. Lycée Passebon is a French name, and when you translate it into English, it roughly translates to high school not good. Sorry, I used Google Translate, but can someone who actually speaks French comment down below? I'm like, sure, it's supposed to say High School of Evil or something. Also, I'm definitely gonna call it LPB because I am probably butchering the pronunciation. 22. Like any fancy fictional school, like Harry Potter's Hogwarts or Wednesday's Nevermore Academy, LPB is a fancy castle-like school, as should any fancy school be. 23. The LPB school emblem includes a symbol for radiation, a stick of dynamite, a knife, and a classic bomb. How very villainous. Number 24. Every school needs a mascot, so what is LPB's? Well, it's Lenny the Honey Badger. Perfect considering how dangerous and vicious honey badgers are known to be. 25. Illumination created a Roblox game called Despicable Me 4 Heist Obby to help promote the film. The goal was to steal Lenny the Honey Badger. You could win prizes up until release of the film, and it was released on June 7th, 2024. Number 26. The school's principal, Principal Ubelschlecht, I hope I pronounced that right, is a new character introduced in this film. She's played by none other than director Chris Renaud himself. 27. Übelschlecht, translated from German, means terrible or bad, which is fitting for the principal of a villain school. 28. In Principal Übelschlecht's office, you can spot a photo with her alongside a familiar character, Dr. Nefario. Number 29. If you notice the shape of Principal Übelschlecht's bed, it literally looks like a coffin. 30. When Gru drives his supercar to the LPB class reunion, the license plate on his car reads DM090710, which translates to Despicable Me, July 9th, 2010, the release date of the first film. Number 31. Within the school, Gru and Co. can be seen passing by a motivational banner. What does it say? Think bad, act worst. The perfect quote for a school of villainy. 32. Another banner in the school can be seen saying keep calm and be nasty, which is a play on the Keep Calm and Carry On posters that were super popular. Number 33. At the school, we're introduced to this film's newest villain, the very fashionable and French Maxime Lamal. Number 34. Maxime's surname, Lamal, roughly translates to the bad, or just bad. 35. Maxime is voiced by Will Ferrell, with a French accent. This isn't Will Ferrell's first foray into playing the villain, as he's voiced Megamind from the movie of the same name, and President Business in the Lego Movie. And I'm gonna be honest, when I watched the film, I didn't even know it was Will Ferrell. 36. Maxime's whole shtick is cockroaches. It's like his thing. He even uses it on his logo, which is the letter M with cockroach-like features. 37. Maxime's color palette, green, white, and yellow gold, funny enough, matches a pest control van seen later in the film. Number 38. Maxime is the first villain not to ever interact with Margot, Edith, or Agnes. Instead, a lot of his interactions are with Gru and Gru Jr. Number 39. Maxime Lamal joins the list of a very few set of villains in the series to have known about Gru prior to them meeting in the film, since they were classmates. One of the others is Balthazar Brat from Despicable Me 3. Number 40. Speaking of Lamal and Gru being classmates, they're both part of the graduating class of 85, as seen on banners and signage throughout the class reunion. 41. Alongside Maxime, we're introduced to his girlfriend Valentina, who was once very popular in school. Valentina is voiced by Sofia Vergara. 42. Since Maxime and Valentina are in a relationship, that makes them the second pair of villains to be in a romantic relationship. Prior to them, we had Scarlet and Herb Overkill from the Minions movie. Number 43. When Gru reveals to Maxime that he's part of the AVL, or the Anti-Villain League, and shows off his badge, in the bottom right corner is a QR code that looks just like a minion. Number 44. If you like Minions, you're sure to like these new Minion versions. Despicable Me 4 introduces superpowered minions called Mega Minions. These minions are enhanced with a super serum, which wasn't previously tested. Number 45. Each of these Mega Minions possesses a unique superpower that reflects some of the popular superpowers we see in today's superhero medium. 46. The first of these minions is Dave, who has super strength, kinda like Superman, but I don't recall him having the ability to fly. Number 47. Speaking of Dave, he and Gru don't really interact in this film, a first in the series. 48. Our next minion is Mel, who has laser vision similar to Cyclops. He isn't very good at controlling his powers and oftentimes causes major collateral damage everywhere he goes. 49. Mel's laser vision is extremely powerful, being able to pierce through to the other side of the globe and into space. Number 50. Yes, this confirms that Mel does make a return in Despicable Me 4, despite leaving with Gru's twin brother Drew in Despicable Me 3. Number 51. Next up, we have Tim with the power of elasticity. He's kind of like Mr. Fantastic or Elastigirl. 52. There's a scene in the film where Tim has to stop a runaway train. In order to do so, he stretches out his arms and grabs onto buildings to slow the train down. This scene mirrors how Spider-Man stops the runaway trains in Spider-Man 2, except Tim doesn't shoot out webs. 53. In Despicable Me 4, Tim actually sports a different cut, with his hair appearing much shorter compared to previous films in the series. Number 54. Despite the new cut, merchandise of Tim can be seen with his previous longer hairstyle. I guess someone didn't communicate this change. Number 55. Jerry is our fourth Mega Minion, and he has the power of having a rocky exterior. He kind of reminds me of the Thing from Fantastic Four. 56. And lastly, we have Gus, who looks like he can be a Doctor Strange parody, but can really only fly. Number 57. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Mega Minion spin-off in the future, and it seems like Illumination feels the same way. On June 8th, 2024, Steve Carell was featured in a video on Illumination's YouTube channel promoting this Megaverse idea. The video was titled Enter the Megaverse and is presented like one of those MCU phase presentations. Number 58. In fact, on the Despicable Me 4 website, there's a tab that features the Megaverse. Even if it might be a joke, it seems like Illumination put in a lot of work creating 100 years worth of Mega Minions films. Number 59. Some of the film titles in the Megaverse are hilarious twists on existing shows and films. Some examples include Mega Minion Island, which looks like a Love Island parody, Mad Mega Furry Road, a play on Mad Max Fury Road, Mega Minions Multiverse of Margos, the Megaverse's take on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and Mega Minions Quantum of Solace, a 007 Quantum of Solace parody, and so much more. Number 60. A small short was created to help promote Despicable Me 4. Called Arms Race, this short featured the Mega Minions fighting over popcorn. Spoiler alert, nobody wins. Number 61. Due to certain circumstances, Gru and his family are forced to move out of their house and into the lovely but boring neighborhood of Mayflower, and they assume new identities. Under the guise of being a salesman, Gru goes by the name Chet Cunningham, solar panel salesman. Number 62. With a new identity comes new clothes, and the pink polo t-shirt that Gru wears looks like a play on the brand Lacoste, except instead of a crocodile, it's a turtle. Number 63. Lucy assumes the identity of Blanche Cunningham, a hairstylist. This becomes an issue later in the film, but we won't spoil it for you here. Number 64. The girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, take on the names Bree, Blair, and Brittany, respectively. Number 64. Gru Jr. is the only one in the family not to get a new identity. Number 66. At Mayflower, they meet a few new characters, particularly one new family, their neighbors, the seemingly rich Prescotts. Number 67. Starting with Poppy Prescott, the daughter in the Prescott family. She's played by Joey King, who you might recognize as the voice of Katie from Horton Hears a Who, and as Ramona from Ramona and Beezus. 68. Poppy Prescott is an aspiring supervillain, and you can see that she's a fan just by her room alone. Number 69. Hanging around Poppy's room are posters of the Vicious Six, who you might remember from the Minions movie. Number 70. Another poster that can be seen in Poppy's room is a poster of great villains of all time created by LPB, as you can see from the logos in the bottom corner. Will we ever see these villains in a future film? Who knows? We'll just have to see. 71. Eagle-eyed viewers can just barely spot an Evil Brat action figure in Poppy's room. Number 72. Poppy also seems to be a BTS fan, as she has a Butter poster hanging up in her room as well. For the non-BTS listeners out there, Butter is one of their singles. Number 73. Poppy's pink phone case is a BTS phone case, further solidifying that she might be a BTS fan. Number 74. Poppy has a Dance Dance Revolution-like machine in her room. It's cat-themed and has a dance pad similar to Pump It Up, with diagonal buttons and all. Oh, and she plays Through the Fire and Flames on it. 75. However, it seems she's obsessed with cats, or at least cat-themed items. On top of her DDR machine, she's got cat pillows, cat furniture, cat headphones, and most importantly, an actual cat. Number 76. When Gru first meets Poppy in her treehouse, Poppy is sitting in a floating cat chair orb thing, and turns around towards Gru while petting her cat. This little motion is a reference to several famous villains such as 007's Ernst Stavro Blofeld, as well as Dr. Evil, who is clearly a parody of the former. Number 77. Perry Prescott, the father of Poppy Prescott, is played by Stephen Colbert of The Late Show. Number 78. Perry Prescott owns Prescott Motors, which is the largest auto dealer in the state, canonically. Number 79. Perry's car has a Mayflower license plate, which raises the question, is Mayflower a state or a city? I need to know. 80. Patsy Prescott, Perry's wife, and the mother, Poppy Prescott, is voiced by Chloe Fineman. Number 81. Gru's house has changed over the past few films, but there's one thing that's still present, the radioactive flower painting. First seen in Despicable Me. 82. Now that he's fully a family man, you might notice small things in Gru's house that point to him taking care of his kids. In the kitchen, you can spot bowls that seem to belong to each of the children. 83. Melora, a disgruntled salon customer who was wronged by Lucy, chases Lucy in a supermarket. The whole sequence is reminiscent of a chase scene from The Terminator, complete with a backing track similar to The Terminator. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Number 84. Melora is voiced by Lorraine Newman, a veteran who's had voice roles in The Secret Life of Pets 2, Despicable Me 3, Sing, and so much more. Number 85. Several characters make a small comeback at the end of the film. Starting with returning characters from the first Despicable Me film, we have Marlena Gru, Vector, Mr. Perkins, and Fred McDade. 86. From Despicable Me 2, we have the one and only El Macho. 87. From the Minions film, Scarlet and Herb Overkill make an appearance, 88. Coming in from Despicable Me 3, we have Balthazar Brat and Drew Gru. Number 89, rounding out the crowd from Minions: The Rise of Gru, Bell Bottom, Nunchuck, Stronghold, Svengeance, and Jean-Claude. 90. Despite these characters returning at the end, a majority, if not all of them, have non-speaking roles and are only there to celebrate. Number 91. Wild Knuckles doesn't make a return at the end of the film, making him one of the only villains not to return. Number 92. John DiMaggio, who voiced one of Wild Knuckles' henchmen in previous films, makes a return. Since his character isn't in the film, instead DiMaggio voices the AVL bus driver in charge of sending the minions to headquarters. Number 93. While everyone's dancing in the prison, it seems like Vector's stuck in the past, because he can be seen doing the floss. Number 94. Another character that makes a reappearance, albeit a short one, is Dr. Nefario. However, he's now voiced by Ramesh Ranganathan, who replaces Russell Brand. Number 95. Pharrell Williams returns to produce another song for the Despicable Me franchise, this time being Double Life. For those that don't know, Pharrell Williams has been making music for each of these films since the first, so it's nice seeing him return. Number 96. When Pharrell Williams dropped Double Life as a single, people interpreted the song as a diss on Drake. Whether or not this is on purpose has yet to be confirmed, but maybe it's just the song for Despicable Me. I don't know. Number 97. And now that I mention him, this is the first film in the series not to include a scene featuring Fun 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 by Pharrell Williams. Number 98. The main composer for Despicable Me 4 is Heitor Pereira, who also composed all of the previous Despicable Me films. Number 99. The soundtrack for Despicable Me 4, if you're interested, was released on June 27th, 2024 by Backlot Music, a few days before the film was released in theaters. Number 100. While the film doesn't have the oh-so-popular post-credits scene, there are credit bits featuring the minions in ridiculous situations. Be sure to stay to check them all out, because they give a good idea of what other shenanigans the Mega Minions are up to. Number 101. The Minions return to Regal Theaters with Regal's Policy trailer, shown before films. For those of you that haven't seen the Policy trailer, it's a virtual roller coaster guiding you through the policies of the theater. This time around, the Minions join in on the ride. Previously, this version of the trailer was seen around the time of the release of Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 102. For the Super Bowl, Illumination created a spot where the Minions used artificial intelligence to generate images to help advertise the film. Just like most AI creations, these look terrible. Number 103. Despicable Me 4 premiered at the Jazz at Lincoln Center, located in New York City, on June 9th, 2024. Number 104. The film was officially released on July 3rd, 2024, a few days from the 14-year anniversary of the first Despicable Me film's release date, July 9th, 2010. Number 105. Despicable Me 4 has done very well during its opening weekend, with $75 million during the weekend itself. But if you start on July 3rd, its opening day, we see it's garnered $122.6 million overall. This means that the film ended Inside Out 2's streak as the #1 film at the box offices. Number 106. Not only that, but the film outperformed its predecessor Despicable Me 3, which opened at a similar time around the 4th of July weekend, but in 2017. I'd say that's a huge success, especially it being the 4th sequel. Number 107. Despicable Me 4 is not the final film in the series, and there are more being planned for the future.
Excited for more Despicable Me? Well, we might not know much about any future sequels, but we can always pick up back where we started. Yep, we've got 107 facts about the original Evil Genius movie. Enjoy!
Back in September of 2013, Steve Burke, CEO of NBC Universal, confirmed that a third film in the Despicable Me series was in development. Cinco Paul and Ken Dario returned to write. For Despicable Me 3, the film needed a villain with an iconic voice much like Gru's. Associate producer Brett Hoffman suggested asking the South Park creator Trey Parker if he'd be interested in the part, and producer Chris Meledandri loved the idea. Parker loved the idea of voicing Balthazar for Despicable Me 3, as he was instantly drawn to the character. After his first day of recording, he admitted it was a new experience since he's never been directed by someone other than himself before. Other actors who had been considered for the role of Balthazar were Ed Helms, Ty Burrell, Kevin Pollak, John Cena, Steve Zahn, and Alan Tudyk. Guess Parker just fit the bill a little better. For Balthazar, the team needed to come up with a villain concept that could match Gru's as well. In the past, the team had some trouble because of Gru's character, since his roots as a villain made him a formidable adversary. However, Illumination felt that they had something there with Balthazar from the beginning. A clear theme surrounding the Despicable Me franchise is family, and that only grows in the third film as we're introduced to Gru's twin brother, Drew. The real question is whether he's a friend or a foe. You'll have to watch to find out. The trailer, which was tweeted out on the official Twitter for Despicable Me, showed Gru's brother convincing him to return to villainy. No! Don't do it, Gru! Actually, do it, because it's pretty entertaining. 3 different trailers were released for the film. One back in December 2016, one in March 2017, and the last in April 2017. All of them are awesome. Looks like someone was an Eminem fan in the music department. The first and second trailers feature the 1999 song What's the Difference by Dr. Dre, featuring Exhibit and Eminem, and the third trailer released features Slim Shady's track So Bad from his 2010 album Recovery. The film was released on June 30th, 2017. This was the first movie in the franchise that was not released in the month of July. Most of the original voice cast returned, as well as Jenny Slate being added to the team as Valerie Da Vinci. You know Slate as Tammy in Bob's Burgers, Ponyhead in Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Huntress Wizard in Adventure Time, Harley Quinn in the Lego Batman movie, and of course in live action as Jean-Ralphio's sister, Mona Lisa, in Parks and Recreation. In June 2017, Pharrell released the song There's Something Special for the Despicable Me 3 soundtrack. He has now contributed to every soundtrack in the Despicable Me franchise. Despicable Me was first developed by Sergio Pablos back in 2009. Pablos had a long history in animation all the way back in the 90s when he helped create stand evil. In fact, Gru himself looked a lot different. This is no surprise when talking about original concept, but Gru's first design had hair. He also had a longer face and a goatee, and an all-around sicklier look. As mentioned, Gru went through some changes. Pablos has dozens of different Grus, some of which look closer to his original concept design. Some even take influence from Edward Scissorhands. For inspiration on how Gru walked, the designers looked at famous comedians. They borrowed the physical comedy of Peter Sellers, famous for the Pink Panther, and Rowan Atkinson, aka Mr. Bean. In addition to the Pink Panther and Mr. Bean, the French animators drew inspiration from other well-known physical comedians. They studied the films of Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and Jacques Tati. Gru was designed in such a way that he moves gracefully even though he is a broad-shouldered man. The filmmakers wanted to create a spy versus spy kind of film where Gru could sneak around and take on a gambit of explosions, coming out unscathed in the end. The crew set out to make a stylized world for Gru and his family. They had no interest in a photorealistic setting and opted for one with a unique color palette. Where would Gru be without his minions? No, not those yellow pills that love bananas. We mean evil henchmen. Originally, Gru had a cabal of evil agents that would do his bidding. These minions were originally designed to be burly, muscular henchmen. The art directors decided that it wouldn't be fitting to have Gru be an underdog character and be surrounded by an army of buff henchmen, so they went for a less threatening design. Originally, Gru's adoptive daughters were a bit less distinguished. The girls were not only nameless, but also looked to be around the same age instead of being different ages. The girls got names and designs early on in the pre-production process. Edith, the tomboyish one, was more girly at first. She lacked her hat and carried around a toy fairy wand. Margot went through some changes as well. Instead of being the eldest, she originally looked to be the same age as the other girls. She had more of a plain look, sporting a thick sweater and braces. While Gru went through many drastic changes, Vector was a nerdy villain even in the beginning. His early concepts looked like variations of the standard nerd character. In the original pitch, Kyle, Gru's mutant lapdog, was given a far more fitting name, Kragul. He was the result of a genetic experiment and attacked anyone other than Gru. Kyle was not always the pint-sized monster we know. In another scrapped idea for a scene, the girls take a giant Kyle to show and tell, and the rest of the class are surprised at his huge size. So what exactly is Kyle supposed to be? Well, according to the production notes, he is a mix between a pit bull and a piranha. There were plans that Kyle would be a henchman instead of a pet. Some early designs showed that Kyle was going to be a mutant-looking grunt in power armor. In fact, it looked like Kyle was going to be Gru's right-hand man at one point. Early storyboards showed that Kyle was helping Gru fight Vector in the airship chase scene. What's the secret success behind the Despicable Me characters? Meladandri explained that at their core, the family in the film reminds us of ourselves. While their dynamic is unusual, the way the girls and Gru come together is relatable. The humor in the films is in large part thanks to the talented writers. They've stated that they make the jokes for themselves as parents, and they understand the balance that engages both kids and adults. Despicable Me franchise director Pierre Coffin has a motto when it comes to developing animated films. In the first 5 seconds, you have to forget you are watching an animated film and understand what each character is feeling. So, they made sure to implement that. The entire filmmaking process at Illumination is about perspective. From script to storyboard to cutting, every 10 to 12 weeks the team steps back to look at the whole film and ask, will the audience still like this? It's a good way to have a fresh eye. When the project was first picked up, locations were drawn out. One of the earlier versions of Gru's house was a dark and ominous tower that overlooked a normal suburban neighborhood. It was much like the one in the film, except much bigger. There were also a few rooms that were drawn up but never used. One of these was the brain room, which featured, a room with brains kept in jars. There is yet another early concept sketch of Gru where he has a full suit of villainous armor. We also see that there are some sketches of this Gru fighting superheroes, which hasn't exactly happened in the films yet. Yes, Despicable Me had superheroes. Concept art shows that there was a superhero named Hindsight in an early version of the story. While the new Gru did the same villainous things as he did in the original concept, there were some ideas that were left out. An example of this includes Gru watering flowers out in a garden, killing them in the process. A different version of the shooting range scene was drawn up in the early stages of production. In this version, the girls all win a prize before the iconic fluffy unicorn was added. Their older prize wasn't as fluffy. Gru and Vector are bitter rivals in the film, and in the original concept art, they had a few scuffles that were cut from production. One includes a scene where Gru is kidnapped from his own house and whisked away by Vector. An idea regarding the shrink ray involved Gru and the girls getting shrunk themselves. This sketch even depicts Gru and the girls hiding from a large Vector. Gru was quite involved with the girls' lives during some early versions. In this concept art, we can see Gru enjoying a play date with some of the moms at the school the girls go to. Okay, he looks annoyed, but he's still a good parent, right? Despicable Me had different styles of concept art when they began production. Production designer Yarrow Chayne's art is closer to the final product, and some of the ideas that were cut seem to show Vector in his past with his dad, the president of the Bank of Evil. In addition to being the art director, Goulian provided some concept art as well. For example, a drawing of young Gru and the teddy bear spaceship. Aww. The crew was excited to be working with designers Goulian and Chayne, who designed the first film. The crew loved the style the two designers used to make the characters and dubbed it Suburban Gothic. Another concept artist is Martin Tristam. While he is not listed in the official IMDb, his sketches for the film have the official production stamp on them. Some of his scenes and locations did not feature in the film, such as a junkyard or a scene where the minions go shopping. You may have picked up that the characters in the film are caricatures. The designer behind these models is Carter Goodrich, and he also developed the characters for Pixar's Ratatouille. Despite being made by a Paris-based studio, Despicable Me is a franchise that has a blended world with a lot of little details. Renault points out that while some buildings have water towers like you would see in Brooklyn, the door handles in the center of doors would be commonly found in Paris. The crew didn't want Gru to plan his villainy in a boring location. Art director John Cohen described the world as a stylistic mix of Charles Addams and Edward Gorey. For the voiceovers, the team wanted actors who not only brought a good voice, but could act out their personalities physically to inspire the animation team. Cohen explained that they wanted the best improv actors they could find. With that said, we can see why they chose Steve Carell as Gru, Jason Segel as Vector, Russell Brand as Dr. Nefario, Julie Andrews as Gru's mother, Will Arnett as Mr. Perkins, Kristen Wiig as Miss Hattie, and many more talented actors across the board. Meledandri even said about Steve Carell, working with him is unique because he comes to the process as an actor, an improviser, and a writer. It's rare that Steve will not give you a version of the scene that everybody agrees has just taken that comic or dramatic sequence and made it significantly better. Carell always wanted to play a villain and saw this as a great opportunity. When he created the accent for Gru, the directors said they would have never thought to voice Gru like that. When coming up with Gru's dialect, Carell observed that some classic villains have very recognizable voices. One of Carell's goals was to make it so no one could pinpoint Gru's accent. Where do you think it comes from? Carell played with several different accents before going with the final version. According to Meledandri, Carell landed somewhere between a mix of Ricardo Montalban and Bela Lugosi. Carell felt like Gru was a chance to break the mold, so to speak. He saw this as a chance to be more like himself, because he personally feels that he's probably meaner than most people think. Another aspect that drew Carell to the role was that despite Gru's villainous ways, he has a lot of humanity. The process of seeing that over time was what sold Carell on it from a storytelling perspective. In Carell's opinion, Julie Andrews is perhaps the most inappropriate person to play Gru's mom. However, he attributes that as a good thing because of how well it works in the film. While the old Dr. Nefario is voiced by a young man like Russell Brand, he is a lot older than anyone realized. According to the production notes, Dr. Nefario is 150 years old. The soundtrack was co-composed by Pharrell Williams. Before becoming the legendary recording artist behind Happy, Williams composed film and TV scores. He worked with Hatro Pereira on this one. Before teaming up to write the song Blurred Lines, Pharrell and Robin Thicke both worked together on My Life, which featured on the Despicable Me soundtrack. Despicable Me opened up strong on July 9th, 2010, making $56.4 million that weekend. It became the third highest grossing animated film behind Toy Story 3 and Shrek Forever After that summer. In total, Despicable Me grossed $540 million worldwide. It became the 10th highest grossing animated film in US history. While the film did well, it was not nominated for an Academy Award. However, Despicable Me did win the Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Animated Movie, and that's pretty darn important in animation. A few Minions mini-movies were included with the Blu-ray and DVD release of Despicable Me in December 2010. The three mini-movies were titled Banana, Home Makeover, and Orientation Day. After the success of the first film, Illumination knew that it was the launching point for the franchise. Meledandri explained that due to the outpouring of support for the film, they knew there would be more to come. While the success of the first film was shocking, Illumination knew the process enough about making more than one movie. With the concept's organic storytelling, Illumination had no problem adding to the Despicable Me mythos. The way the original film ends suggested that Despicable Me 2 was going to further the evolution of Gru's family. He was a good guy in the end, and the core of the sequel was to make Gru a good guy hero type. For Despicable Me 2, the team needed to show Gru's life post-villainy in a way that reflects his priorities. Meledandri said that his shift in responsibilities to his family, while still acknowledging Nefario and his minions, was to turn his lab into a jam factory. The writers dug deeper into Gru's past for the sequel. They agreed that great villains are not born, they are made, and so getting rejected as a kid was a great catalyst for Gru to grow up the way he did. According to Coffin, what sets apart Despicable Me from other franchises is its embrace of human emotion, especially love. Coffin set out to make the heart of the second film by having Gru find his soulmate. The balance in finding humor for an all-audience film can be tricky. The crew did not want to alienate the young audience or the older crowd with artistic choices, and aimed to create something that would appeal to all ages. Some employees almost didn't come back. Director Renault said he would not come back unless there was a logical story to it. Luckily, the story did just that, and he came back on board. The crew behind the scenes also returned for the sequel, as well as the voice talent. They had one goal in mind, other than creating a great movie, and that was to capture what made the first movie so good. Coming together for the film sequel helped the crew in more ways than one. Janet Healy, the production director, said that this film was about a reunion, and since they had worked together before, the production would be that much smoother. For Despicable Me 2, the team was able to up their game. Everything was upgraded, from the pipe pipeline where they share their work to the rendering software. During the production of Despicable Me 2, the team saw the power of the pill-shaped henchmen known as the Minions. They realized they stole the show during development and started adding them into the film more, which would eventually cause them to have their own spin-off down the line. The team's inspiration behind El Macho in the sequel was the wrestling character El Santos. For the film, they decided what if this guy wasn't in his prime anymore, and decided to design a wrestler like El Santos who is in his later years. It isn't often an actor plays a minor part in one film to then play a major, different character in the sequel, but that is what happened with Kristen Wiig. The crew loved her performance as the orphan director Miss Hattie so much that they asked her to return and play the female lead for the sequel, Lucy. Wiig said there is a freedom to voicing animation. Physically, she can do anything she wants with her face or body because it doesn't depend on looks, but on how it sounds. Meledandri was impressed with Wiig's performance as Lucy. He went so far as to say she played the best female character in an animated film that he had ever seen. When designing the characters for the sequel, the crew had plenty to work with. They knew what everyone looked like with the exception of Lucy, and had fun making her appearance fit with the world. If they are French, they must wear scarves. When designing Lucy, the animators jokingly mentioned everyone who is designed by anybody in France must wear a scarf. She looks great in it if you ask me. For the sequel, the team had an easy time with the designs because the work was so closely knit with the voice. As Coffin puts it, design informs voice, and voice informs design. The team really invested into the scenes that they felt could draw out the physical comedy. For example, the scene where Lucy puts Gru in the trunk could have been shortened, but they drew it out for emphasis and comedic effect. Pharrell returned to make the soundtrack for Despicable Me 2 with Pereira. It was this soundtrack that featured Pharrell's popular hit track, Happy. There's no way you could be sad listening to it. Angry maybe, but not sad. Despicable Me 2 would do better at the Oscars than the original, as it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, specifically
the sheer volume of minions out in the world, it only makes sense that there are a lot of facts about these banana-loving freaks. Strap in and maybe grab an extra comfy pair of overalls because there's a triple feature of Minions facts heading your way.
Number 1. Most of the Minions are actually voiced by the directors of the Despicable Me films, Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud. Look at that, guys. Fact number 1, and I'm already pronouncing names wrong. Feels good to be back. Number 2. Chris Renaud is American and Pierre Coffin is French, which is one of the reasons why Minions sometimes have different accents. Number 3. A surprise for Flight of the Conchord fans, Jermaine actually provided the voices of Minions, Kevin and Jerry. Number 4. Minions only have 3 fingers on each hand, just like raptors. Sounds like the next Jurassic movie should probably give them a call. Jurassic World, Minions Gone Loose, starring Shia LaBeouf. Number 5. Minions have become the official mascots of Illumination Entertainment. Number 6. So far in the Despicable Me films, there has been 5 different Minion hairstyles, including being bald, because being bald is a hairstyle. Get these guys a hairstylist. Number 7. Taller Minions all have the same haircut. Number 8. Talk about an all-star cast. The Minions movie features big names like Sandra Bullock, John Hamm, Michael Keaton, Steve Coogan, and Jennifer Saunders. Who could resist playing a part alongside the yellow guys? Number 9. Minions could survive in outer space. They don't need oxygen to survive and are resistant to freezing. It's kinda like they're a superhero. I'm looking at you, Marvel. Make it happen. Number 10. If you pay attention to the Minions' teeth in the first 2 Despicable Me films, you'll notice they have slightly crooked teeth in the first and straight teeth in the second. Number 11. It may sound like the Minions are speaking gibberish, but they're not. They're speaking Minionese. Number 12. Minionese is a mix of French, English, Italian, and Spanish, with a hint of Korean and Russian tossed in. Number 13. When you listen to the Minions talk, you can catch words from other languages, including kanpai, which is cheers in Japanese, and paratu, which is for you in Spanish. Number 14. The Minions' appearance was partially inspired by Star Wars' Jawa and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory's Oompa Loompas. Think we'll get some musical numbers?
I don't like the look of it.
Number 15. So far, Minions have only had male names. They are Dave, Stuart, Kevin, Jerry, Tim, Mark, and Phil. Number 16. To promote Despicable Me 2, Chiquita Banana printed off more than 500 million stickers featuring Minions to put on their bananas. Man, that's adorable and filled with potassium. Number 17. Minions love bananas. It's their favorite fruit. Number 18. No, seriously though, they love bananas. Number 19. Their second favorites are apples and papayas. Number 20. A large blimp in the shape of a minion was created and flown around the US in order to promote Despicable Me 2. Number 21. At that time, it was only one of 15 airships being flown worldwide. Number 22. The creators of Despicable Me have said that Minions were written into the film in order to make Gru a more likable guy. Guess what? It worked. Number 23. If you're wondering why evil Minions are purple, it's because purple and yellow lie on opposite sides of the color spectrum. The more you know. Number 24. According to Pierre, the Minion population stands at 899 minions. Number 25. Pierre will be voicing each and every Minion in the upcoming film, Minions. Number 26. Minions don't like when they're unsure of things. Number 27. Minions also don't like it when Gru leaves their questions unanswered. Number 28. Evil Minions are created when Minions are injected with the mutagen PX41. Number 29. Evil Minions were designed to be indestructible. They're immune to flamethrowers, guns, axes, and undercover police cars. They can even swallow bombs. Number 30. Despite their psychological differences though, evil Minions love bananas as much as their yellow counterparts. Number 31. There are at least 2 Minions named Kevin. One of them has 1 eye, and the other one has 2. In the comment section down below, comment which Kevin you think has better depth perception. Number 32. Also, there seems to be more than 1 Phil. The more Phils, the merrier, I always say. Yes, I always say that. Number 33. The average Minion is 105 centimeters tall. That's about 3 feet and a little over 5 inches. Number 34. The poster for Despicable Me 2 apparently has more than 10,400 individual Minions on it. Now, which one of you guys are willing to count them and confirm? Number 35. We love them tiny and rambunctious, but the Minions were originally going to be giant orc-like brutes. As time passed, they got smaller and smaller because Gru needed to be more sympathetic to viewers. Number 36. Coffin said the easy solution was to actually have him surrounded by incompetents. Number 37. Another early idea for Minions was to have them be human-like henchmen, but the studio didn't have the budget for that. Number 38. You can get a taste for what it would have been like though. In the start of Despicable Me 2, there are human in yellow jackets speaking in a foreign language. It's a homage to the original henchman design. Number 39. The Minion Bob has heterochromia. Each of his eyes are a different color. You know, this reminds me of somebody in Being Puppy Cat. If anybody watching knows what I'm talking about, we here at Channel Frederator love you. Number 40. The short orientation date suggests that Minions were created from a single strand of mutated DNA that transformed into one-cell organisms. Number 41. With help from the Minions, the Despicable Me movie has grossed over 1.4 billion worldwide. Despicable Me 2 was the 3rd highest grossing film of 2013, behind Frozen and Iron Man 3. Number 42. In addition to the main films, there are 7 7 short films that feature the Minions. Number 43. Minions have one purpose in life. They're meant to seek out and serve the most despicable master they can find. Number 44. Minions evolved from yellow single-celled organisms to their current pill-like forms. Number 45. They've existed since the beginning of time. Number 46. The Minions can be connected with the accidental deaths of Dracula, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, and even T-Rex. Gru better watch his back. Number 47. If they go too long without having a master, Minions get seriously depressed. At one point in time, they even isolated themselves in Antarctica in their sadness. Number 48. The most popular Minions video on YouTube is a compilation of some of their best moments. It has over 60 million views. Number 49. Following closely behind is a 14-minute long Minion rendition of Banana to the tune of Barbara Ann by the Beach Boys. Number 50. Despicable Me merchandise makes no small amount of money. You can pick up your own fart blasters or goggles to match your favorite Minion. Number 51. Minions love to sing. They've covered songs like I Swear, YMCA, and Barbara Ann. Number 52. If you're also a fan of Dr. Seuss, keep your eyes peeled during an early scene of the film, The Lorax. There's a Minion sitting around in a junk drawer. Number 53. True Minion fans should catch the closest flight to Universal Studios in either Florida or Hollywood, so they can take a ride on Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. The ride features all new and exclusive animation sequences featuring the original voices of the characters.
Look out, Minions!
Oh man, we're halfway there, and I feel like we just got to know each other. I'm starting to get sad. Remember to check out our store stash right after this video to load up on some awesome Frederator gear, but let's get back to the video. Number 54. In the ride, Gru has a gun that can turn people into minions, but as listed in an earlier fact, that's not how minions came to be. Number 55. Minion Mayhem has you complete minion training inside Gru's lab. Number 56. When Gru's speed dial is shown in the first film, Dave and Stuart, 2 of his minions, are included. Number 57. Interestingly, one-eyed minions are usually of the shorter variety. I'm thinking that one eye is really heavy and it just ruins their spine. Don't you hate it when that happens? Number 58. It's unknown whether or not minions have a gender. Number 59. It's also unknown how they reproduce. You know what? I think one day we'll find out if the minions are ever in a horror movie. Yep, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Number 60. In a testament to their popularity, Minions have been licensed by a number of companies, including McDonald's, Hasbro, and General Mills. Number 61. Despicable Me 2 was the first Universal Studios film since Jurassic Park that had both McDonald's and General Mills marketing it. Number 62. Before Gru, the Minions served female supervillain Scarlet Overkill. Number 63. Minions can double as glow sticks. Give them a crack and a shake and you can be all ready for a Minion rave. Number 64. There are hundreds of Minions, but only around 48 unique appearances combinations factors into height, build, hair, and eyes. Number 65. Though they're simple-minded and incompetent, Minions have been seen building weapons, operating said weapons, using computers, and even driving. Rambo, watch out. Number 66. Minions call apples bapples. Bat bit bo butte. Number 67. For the second film in the series, the Minions models were redesigned. Number 68. The funny little henchmen are considered to be the scene stealers and breakout stars of Despicable Me. Number 69. Minion quotes have become a popular internet meme. Number 70. You wouldn't expect it, but Minions do enjoy some refined activities like the fine arts. Number 71. On the other hand, they find anything involving booties to be hilarious.
Bottom.
Number 72. They also like spitting, frog legs, bunnies, and building things. Number 73. In Minionese, gelato means ice cream. Number 74. Bananas are so important to Minions that the word makes reoccurring appearances in the Minionese language. To say I'm hungry in Minionese, try the phrase we want bananas. Number 75. Ugly is banano-nanal. Yes, you heard me, banano-nanal. What am I doing with my life? Number 76. The Minions originated from the water, which sounds about right when you consider that historically most species did. Number 77. The producers of Despicable Me 2, John Cohen, confirmed that minions are multilingual. They can speak English, Spanish, French, Greek, Korean, and more. Number 78. Did you know that there's a free Minion app called Minion Rush? One of the game's mechanics is collecting bananas. Everybody comment banana, 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 banana. Number 79. One of the Minions' favorite phrases is Baidu, which means I'm sorry. If I pronounce stuff wrong, guys, Baidu. Number 80. Gru has some rivals in love. The Minions David and Stuart both have crushes on Lucy Wilde. Number 81. Kevin, Bob, and Stuart will be the main Minions in the Minions film. Number 82. They've been designed to resemble Gru's daughters, Margot, Agnes, and Edith. Number 83. The Minions were originally going to be genetically modified corn kernels. Yeah, that's really weird. Number 84. The new movie coming out is connecting the Minions into a pre-existing race that has been around since the dinosaurs. Number 85. Auditions for the Minions were held during the end credits of Despicable Me 2. Number 86. The Minions love to play, especially with Agnes, Edith, and Margot. Aww. Number 87. Each movie in the Despicable Me film series has ended with a Minion dance party. Here's to many more. Number 88. An app is available that will translate the Minions dialogue during the original film's end credits. Go check it out and let us know what you think. Number 89. The Minion Mark is often dressed as a mom, and he's sometimes referred to as Mom Minion. Number 90. When the Wi-Fi is down, you'll want to look for Kevin, the Minion who manages the wireless network in Gru's house.
Kevin, the Wi-Fi's out!
Number 91. The Minions film will take place in 1968 with the settings of New York City and Maud London. Number 92. Minions will be Sandra Bullock's first time playing a villain.
I love you, Scarlett!
Number 93. For the premiere of the Minions film, Sandra Bullock rocked a Minion-inspired pair of heels. 10 replicas will be auctioned off for charity. Number 94. In Minions, the Minions attend VillainCon, which bears a slight similarity to San Diego's Comic-Con. Scarlet Overkill's presentation even takes place in Hall H, which is the hall used at San Diego Comic-Con for major events. Number 95. With a runtime of 1 hour and 44 minutes, the Minions movie will be the longest Despicable Me film to date. Number 96. The Minion rendition of I Swear is jokingly called Underwear because of his introductory sequence. Number 97. A series of comics and graphic novels based on Minions will be published by Titan Comics. They launch on June 17th, 2015. Hey, that means they're already out. I'm gonna go check that out. Number 98. The Minions sing a Minionese version of the Irish drinking song, which is surprising seeing how the original lyrics for the tune aren't exactly kid-friendly material. Number 99. The DJ booth belonging to the DJ Minion at the end of the first film is labeled Blu-ray disc. I get it. We made it, guys. Number 100. The behavior of an evil Minion in Despicable Me 2 is a spot-on match for that of Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Number 101. A scene with a row of Minions sitting and eating lunch together on a girder is a replica of the famous photo, Lunch Atop a Skyscraper. Number 102. In Despicable Me 2, evil Minions swarm over a wall. Look familiar? Maybe because the scene was inspired by a similar moment in the film World War Z starring Brad Pitt. Number 103. During the ice cream party in Despicable Me 2, a Minion can be spotted pole dancing while another Minion slaps his friend's butt. Number 104. A scene in the first film where the Minions cheer for Gru from their control room is probably a homage to Apollo 13. Number 105. If you are already feeling like the Minion movie coming out on July 10th, 2015 won't be enough to satisfy your craving for banana-loving henchmen, fear not. Despicable Me 3 has been confirmed for a 2017 release. Number 106. The Minions were created by French art director Eric Guillon. You go, Eric. And number 107. Evil Minions were inspired by a cartoon featuring Tweety Bird. The canary drinks a potion and turns him into a monster.
Number 1. If you're one of the few people who have never seen the movies and just know them by name and posters, or memes probably being the most realistic answer, you're likely wondering who or what exactly Minions are, and that's a valid question. They look human, but they don't speak human language, at least no discernible language. Hence, aliens would be a good guess, but it turns out that they are genetically modified corn kernels. Supposedly they are created by their master Gru and engineered from the same strand of mutated DNA, though this origin was seemingly retconned in the first Minions movie, according to which Minions existed since the beginning of time, with the purpose of serving despicable masterminds throughout history. Number 2. There's also a more straightforward answer when it comes to the creature's origins. Originally, the Minions were meant to resemble humans, but due to the studio's limited budget, they were redesigned to be shorter. Number 3. This is even hinted at in the second movie's beginning, where we see humans in yellow jackets speaking in a foreign language, a nod to the Minions' own gibberish. Number 4. The movie's directors coined this gibberish as Minionese, which is perhaps not a word you'd immediately associate with a fictional language, as it sounds more like mayonnaise. And with just a little bit of imagination, you too will see the resemblance. What's crazier though is that each word actually has a meaning. Number 5. The first movie's original title was Evil Me. That's not too different from the final title, but there is a reason behind the name change. In the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the then incumbent US President George W. Bush had publicly declared certain countries, such as Iran, Iraq, and North Korea, among others, as axis of evil, infamously marking them down as enemies of the country. Understandably, the creators wanted to avoid drawing parallels to this controversial statement. Number 6. Despicable Me was Illumination Entertainment's first feature film, and also kicked off the studio's forthcoming success. It's no surprise that these clumsy, adorable yellow creatures quickly became the studio's trademark. Number 7. Despicable Me was animated at the Illumination MacGuff studio in Paris, despite being an American production. Number 8. In fact, the movie's directors Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud are French and American respectively. Both of them did the voices for a majority of the Minions. For his voice work, Pierre Coffin was even awarded with the Kids Family Award at the 10th Sayu Awards in 2016. Number 9. Some Minions were named after writers who worked on The Simpsons. Stuart is named after J. Stuart Burns, Kevin is named after Kevin Curran, and Bob is named after Bob Benditson. Number 10. In Gru's lair, the NBC logo can be seen on top of the Jumbotron. The newscast in the beginning is identified as MSNBC. Universal, NBC's parent company, is the studio who released this movie and a co-owner of the movie's animation company, Illumination. Number 11. When Gru first visits his minions in the underground workshop in Despicable Me 2, several minions can be seen taking a break and eating lunch on top of a crossbeam. This is an homage to the famous lunch atop a skyscraper photograph from 1932 by Charles C. Ebbett. Number 12. Throughout the movie, Margot wears a shirt which has the character Lorax from Dr. Seuss on it. In 2012, co-director Chris Renaud directed the movie The Lorax, which was produced by Illumination. Number 13. In his application to adopt the girls, Gru's first name is given as Felonious. Number 14. The producers only wanted comedic, improvisational actors in the cast, part of which is made up of comedians such as Steve Carell and Russell Brand, who voice Gru and Dr. Nefario respectively, among others. Number 15. Gru's voice actor Steve Carell describes Gru's accent as a cross between Ricardo Montalban and Bela Lugosi. Montalban was a Mexican actor known for playing Star Trek villain Khan Noonien Singh, and Lugosi was a Hungarian-American actor, most known for portraying the popular vampire Count Dracula. Number 16. Gru's date of birth is September 28, 1960, as shown in the state adoption file on the computer. This makes him 8 years old when the Apollo 11 moon landing happened, which took place July 20th, 1969. Number 17. While Gru is floating in space and orbiting the moon, his Swan Lake ticket number is revealed to be 072069, which reads as the date of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Number 18. In the Gru family tree, you can see 6 generations in Gru's family, including a cousin known only as Convict 3619. Number 19. Gru's profile resembles an emperor penguin, which is in line with his role as adoptive father caring for its young, akin to an emperor penguin. Number 20. During the dance sequence, DJ Minion is using a Gru-ray disc player with the same color and font style on the writing as a Blu-ray disc player. Number 21. Julie Andrews was chosen to voice Gru's mom because she was deemed to be the least suitable voice actress to play an evil person, thanks to her good-hearted nature. But you know what? That's what would make it funnier, or so that's what the producers thought. Andrews initially turned the part down, but was later persuaded. Number 22. Will Arnett gained weight for the role of Mr. Perkins, because since he was playing a large, heavy-set man, he thought it would improve his voice work. Can't argue with that logic. Number 23. Mr. Perkins's portrait on his office wall is based on Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres's Napoleon Bonaparte on his imperial throne. Number 24. Kristen Wiig, who voices Lucy in Despicable Me 2, played Miss Hattie in this movie, who is the woman in charge of the girls while in the orphanage. Number 25. When Gru is telling the girls the rules and gives number 3, he uses a hand gesture which is correct sign language for that number. Most people use other fingers, indicating Gru knows some sign language. Number 26. The roller coaster Gru and the girls ride at the amusement park looks like the sandworm from the movie Beetlejuice. Number 27. Gru's visual appearance was based on Christopher Lloyd as Fester Addams in The Addams Family. Number 28. The movie has a few nods to George Lucas's Star Wars saga. Number 29. The laser bullets that Gru shoots after Vector in the flight chase scene resemble those from the Star Wars movies. Number 30. In the rescue scene, Gru's right-hand man, Dr. Nefario, says the line, "There he is," which is the same line that Lando Calrissian uttered in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, as he flies the Millennium Falcon up under Cloud City to rescue Luke. Number 31. When Gru walks into his house after getting coffee in the beginning of the movie, his TV show shows an interview with singer Sia, whose solo career initially took off in 2008. Number 32. 2 of the 3 adopted girls are named after characters from a movie or TV show. Margot is named after Margot Chester from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Edith is named after Edith Bunker from All in the Family. Agnes is named after Bewitched actress Agnes Moorehead. Number 33. After the girl's bedroom has transformed into a more comforting place, the camera angle allows the audience to see some famous paintings that Gru has stolen. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa hangs on the wall, and Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night can be seen leaning up against the wall on the floor. Number 34. The day that the movie revolves around is May 26th, which is also the birthday of Steve Carell's daughter, Annie, who was born May 26, 2001. Number 35. Gru shares some characteristic features with villain Megamind. Despite both of them being introduced as villains, they end up being the hero of their respective movies, and both have great intellect they use to create high-tech weapons and gadgets. Number 36. Adding on to that, Megamind's most trustworthy and loyal ally is a talking fish in a robotic body called Minion. Number 37. This is Universal's first fully animated theatrical movie, which has been rated PG by the Motion Picture Association. Number 38. Super Silly Funland is a reference to Pacific Park in Santa Monica, California. Both are built on a pier and feature roller coasters. Number 39. To make Agnes's voice actor Elsie Fisher laugh during voice recordings, her dad would sometimes sneak up behind her and tickle her. Number 40. The bedtime story Sleepy Kittens was made into a tie-in board book that can be purchased, although it does not include the pull-out brush that was featured in the first movie. Number 41. Despicable Me was Universal Pictures' third computer-animated movie after The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a VeggieTales movie, and The Tale of Despereaux, both of which were released in 2008. Number 42. The original Despicable Me movie is the only part of the franchise until Minions: The Rise of Gru, which does not feature John Seigan as an additional voice. Number 43. A funny coincidence related to the character Gru occurs in the comedy show The Office, where Gru's voice actor Steve Carell plays the main character Michael. Upon Michael's return to the office following a vacation abroad, he shows his colleagues pictures that were taken during his vacation, one of which shows his boss Jan. Michael thus invents the name of a German woman who is allegedly called Urkel Gru to cover up his boss's identity. The episode aired in 2007, a year before production on Despicable Me started. Number 44. The little boy that Gru upsets in the beginning of the first movie later reappears in Despicable Me 2 when Gru makes his bear explode, similarly to how he made his balloon pop in his first appearance. Number 45. When Lucy gives Gru her phone number, it reads 626-584-5723. Calling that number reaches a recording of Kristen Wiig in character with her outgoing voicemail message. However, the voicemail box is full and you cannot hear her recording. Number 46. During voice recordings, the actors were filmed on camera and their facial and hand expressions were later translated onto the screen. Steve Carell's wife had fun pointing out the expressions in Gru that reminded her of him. Number 47. When Silas Ramsbottom shows Gru a video of a rabbit being injected with mutation serum, the name tag of the scientists in the video read Coffin and Renaud, a reference to directors Pierre Coffin and Christopher Renaud. Number 48. American actor Al Pacino was initially cast to voice Eduardo, but dropped out in the middle of the project due to creative differences with his character during last-minute changes on the movie. He was later replaced by Benjamin Bratt. Number 49. There are at least 2 minions, called Kevin. In the first movie, Kevin has 1 eye. In this movie, another minion named Kevin has 2 eyes and is taller. Number 50. When Gru is spying on Margot, he hides behind a cactus plant, 3 lobes of which give him the nose and ears of Mickey Mouse, and another one that gives him the nose of Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 51. At Dr. Nefario's workstation, a pinned-up photo of him on a beach can be seen, which was also Gru's background for him on his cell phone in the first movie. Number 52. There's a brief shot in the movie in which Edith is playing ping pong with a minion, but uses a pair of nunchaku as opposed to a ping pong paddle. This is a reference to a famous Chinese Nokia commercial in which a Bruce Lee impersonator plays a game of ping pong using only a pair of nunchaku. Number 53. The 626 area code is from California, meaning that this movie and the original Despicable Me probably take place in the San Gabriel Valley, or nearby in the northeast portion of Los Angeles County. Number 54. In the beginning of the movie, you see a minion getting his head stuck in a jar. Throughout the movie, that minion is seen with the jar still stuck on his head. Poor guy. Number 55. Though most of the movie was from the script, there were some lines ad-libbed by Steve Carell and Kristen Wiig. Number 56. This is the second time that Kristen Wiig plays a character in a cupcake store. Here, her character Miss Hattie is seen in the cupcake store Bake My Day with Gru, whereas in the movie Bridesmaids, Wiig's character Annie Walker owns her own cupcake bakery named Cake Baby. Number 57. When the minions assemble to give Dr. Nefario a 21 fart gun salute, the bugle call "To the Color" can be heard playing in the background. This is a US Army bugle call that is traditionally played on Army posts after the call of retreat, as the post flag is lowered at the end of the duty day. Number 58. The scene where the 2 men are playing chess outside the lab contains a sequence briefly identical to Pixar's animated short, Jerry's Game. Number 59. The woman in the red shorts doing yoga in the park is the same woman from the first movie when Gru is watching the girls at their ballet practice. Number 60. And these Star Wars references keep piling up. The scene in which Gru comes to Lucy's rescue with his 2 purple-colored minions bears resemblance to a similar scene with R2-D2 and C-3PO in Return of the Jedi, on their way to Jabba's palace. Number 61. Despicable Me 2 marks Elsie Fisher's final appearance as the voice of Agnes. She was later replaced by Nev Sherrill due to having grown out of the role. Number 62. Silas Ramsbottom's appearance was based on Irish actor Ciarán Hinds in the Cold War movie Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Number 63. When El Macho goes into the elevator to his lair, the door has the same artwork as the icon of the mobile game Temple Run. Number 64. After Lucy neutralizes the attack chicken, she remarks to Gru that Pollo is loco. This is a reference to the restaurant chain El Pollo Loco, which is Spanish for the crazy chicken. Number 65. Despicable Me 2 is the longest movie of the trilogy, with a running time of 98 minutes. Number 66. On an episode of the Armchair Expert podcast, Quentin Tarantino has stated that Despicable Me 2 was the first movie he'd ever seen in its entirety with his newborn son Leo. Number 67. The bartender minion is meant to mimic the character Isaac Washington, played by Ted Lange in ABC's popular rom-com Love Boat TV series. Washington was known for his signature move of the finger double shooter and his classic eye wink. Number 68. In Despicable Me 2, Gru is a single dad with 3 orphaned daughters, one of whom, Margot, is dating a young boy, which Gru is trying to prevent. In a previous movie that his voice actor Steve Carell played in, called Dan in Real Life, his character Dan also plays a single, widowed dad with 3 daughters, one of whom, Kara, is also dating a young boy, who Dan is trying to prevent from dating. Number 69. The hair of Floyd Eagleson, who is the owner of the wig store Eagle Hair Club, is meant to mock the hairstyle of ex-US President Donald Trump. I think they got that one spot on. Number 70. During the 2 scenes where minions are rowing a boat, the minion in the stroke position is shouting Maiko, which sounds like Michael as in the old folk song Michael Row Your Boat Ashore. Hallelujah. Number 71. The name of the theater at the Paradise Mall is named Paradise Theater, which is the name of a 1981 album by the band Styx. Number 72. Despicable Me 2 is the only movie in the Despicable Me movie series not to star Julie Andrews as Gru's mom. Number 73. At the wedding, the minions singing I Swear were modeled to resemble the singing group Boys II Men. However, the R&B group that originally recorded that song was All for One. Number 74. Pharrell Williams' pop song Happy was originally written and produced for Despicable Me 2. Don't believe us? Check out the official music video. You can see dance performers in minion costumes throughout the video. On Illumination's official YouTube channel, you can also watch an animated lyric video featuring the minions singing along. Number 75. Just before the first 2 minions are injected with the purple serum, they say kanpai, which is a Japanese toast similar to cheers or bottoms up. Number 76. When Eduardo, aka El Macho, invites Gru and the girls to his Cinco de Mayo party, he calls Gru cabeza de huevo, which literally translates to head of egg, or egghead, a reference to Gru's baldness and or head shape. Number 77. When Gru enters El Macho's fortress as a prisoner, he says, "Curses, foiled again." This is the catchphrase of Snidely Whiplash from the Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties cartoon. Number 78. At the end of the second movie, Lucy is tied up and strapped to a rocket. At the end of Despicable Me 3, she's left tied up and gagged in a closet. Number 79. The diamond featured in the first trailer of Despicable Me 3 is a parody of the Pink Panther diamond. Number 80. The movie's end credits also reference the Pink Panther movies. The animated sequence at the first part of the end credits, in which Drew and Gru are trying to outdo one another, is a reference to the opening credit sequences of the classic Pink Panther movies. Number 81. Though Dr. Nefario can be seen in flashback, he remains silent. This makes this the first Despicable Me movie not to feature Russell Brand in his speaking role. Number 82. Steve Carell, Miranda Cosgrove, Dana Geyer, and Pierre Coffin are the only ones to play their roles in all 3 Despicable Me movies. Number 83. In France, the voices for Gru and Drew were performed by Gad Emela and Ari Emela, who are brothers in real life. Number 84. The movie was dedicated to John Saigon, and was the last movie he appeared in prior to his death in 2017, a month before the movie's release. He mainly voiced additional roles. Number 85. In September 2017, this movie grossed over $1 billion worldwide, becoming the only movie released in the summer of 2017 to do so, and also becoming the year's 3rd highest grossing movie. Number 86. When Mel and the other minions are roaming the streets, there is a poster for a television show called Sing. This is a reference to another movie made by Illumination Entertainment. Number 87. Vector from the original Despicable Me movie is briefly mentioned after he's been stranded on the moon at the end of the first movie. According to the Anti-Villain League's profile on him, he's still alive on the moon and can be seen through telescopes as a tiny orange dot. Number 88. This movie opened in a record 4,529 theaters on June 30th, 2017. Number 89. With this movie and the Minions movie, the franchise became the first animated franchise to have 2 movies earn $1 billion at the box office. Number 90. This is the first and only movie of the franchise that was released in theaters in June instead of July. Number 91. Jenny Slate, who voices Silas Ramsbottom's successor as the new director of the Anti-Villain League, Valerie Da Vinci, also played Mona Lisa Saperstein on Parks and Recreation. Number 92. Before Slate was cast, Idina Menzel was also considered for the role of Valerie Da Vinci. Number 93. Due to Universal Pictures' completed acquisition of DreamWorks Animation and further release date changes for future movies, this marks the last time both an Illumination Entertainment or other Universal Pictures animated movie and a DreamWorks movie have been theatrically released in the same month, with this movie only releasing 4 weeks after Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Number 94. Trey Parker stated that his daughter was a key factor in his decision to take the role of villain Balthazar Bratt. He said that she was almost 2 at the time, and he thought it would be cool for her to actually watch something that he's done. Parker is best known as co-creator of South Park, alongside Matt Stone. Number 95. The face of Balthazar Bratt's giant robot slightly resembles the character designs from South Park. Number 96. When the giant Balthazar Bratt robot is attacking Hollywood, Kit from Knight Rider can be seen backing away. Number 97. When Drew reaches into the power supply of the robot, the mechanism he pulls out is remarkably similar to the flux capacitor from Back to the Future, also a movie released by Universal Pictures. Number 98. Among the valuables that the minions collect from the prisoners, one of them looks like Teddy from Mr. Bean. Number 99. The country in which Drew lives, and from which Gru originates, is the fictional European country of Fredonia. This is the same name as a similar fictional European country in the Marx Brothers movie Duck Soup. Number 100. Another connection to Duck Soup can be established based on the Dumont diamond that Balthazar Bratt steals. Its name derives from actress Margaret Dumont, who frequently appears in Marx Brothers movies, including Duck Soup. Number 101. Margot's shirt has the Grinch on it. This was a maybe not so subtle shout out from the studio to their next movie, which was released after Despicable Me 3, the Grinch movie. Number 102. Towards the end of the movie, you can see 2 posters titled Onions as a parody of the Minions poster in the Hollywood studios. Number 103. The costumes Gru and Drew wear are reminiscent of the classic 1960s Italian comic series Diabolic, which tells the story of a ruthless master thief who becomes an anti-hero. He's also aided by his partner in crime and lover, Eva Kant. Number 104. Despicable Me 3 is the first movie from the studio that was produced in a 2.35:1 widescreen aspect ratio. All of the company's previous movies were produced in the taller 1.85:1 aspect ratio. Number 105. During Balthazar Bratt's attempt at stealing the diamond, you can hear the song Bad by Michael Jackson. Later, we see Bratt reappear in a fat suit. Iconic musician Weird Al Yankovic wore a similar suit in his music video for Fat, which is a parody version of Michael Jackson's song Bad. Number 106. During the final battle, a movie poster with the title Soul written on it in the same font as Pixar's Soul can be seen. Number 107. This was the last movie of the franchise to be released in the 2010s. Number 1. Director Pierre Coffin voiced all 899 Minions in this movie. Number 2. Minions is the first non-Disney or Pixar animated movie to take in $1 billion worldwide at the box office. Number 3. It is also the first of the franchise to earn $1 billion worldwide, followed by Despicable Me 3. Number 4. To be exact, it reached $1 billion worldwide in 49 days or 7 weeks. At the time, that was the fastest of any animated movie ever. However, in 2018, The Incredibles 2 topped that record, and if you were wondering, in only 46 days or about 6.6 weeks. Number 5. It's the only movie with a budget under $100 million to cross the $1 billion mark worldwide without being re-released. Number 6. Having been such a box office hit, it comes as no surprise that Minions is the highest grossing prequel worldwide, and the 4th highest grossing animated movie of all time, after The Lion King remake, Frozen, and The Incredibles 2. Number 7. This is the first Illumination movie featuring the Minions Kevin, Bob, and Stuart from Despicable Me 2 as protagonists. Number 8. The movie was first teased in the ending credits of Despicable Me 2, where 3 Minions are auditioning for this very movie. Although that audition features the same 3 Minions, their visual appearance has changed slightly to look more distinct. That's why Bob has one eye that's green and one is brown from this movie onward. Number 9. The leading 3 minions, Kevin, Bob, and Stuart, were designed to resemble the 3 little girls from the Despicable Me movies, Margot, Agnes, and Edith. Number 10. Being the first prequel of the franchise, this movie shows how the minions come across their iconic dungarees. Of course, since at the time of this movie they did not work for Gru yet, so they're missing his logo. Number 11. Some of the Minionese words are taken from Indonesian, such as terima kasih, which means thank you, and Yang Mulia, which means your highness, among others. This is mainly because Pierre Coffin's mother is an Indonesian writer. Number 12. Minionese was partially inspired by the lingo of Salvatore, a character from the historical mystery movie The Name of the Rose from 1986, who is a deformed monk. Number 13. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob travel to Orlando, Florida for VillainCon. Orlando is currently home to the Universal Studios Florida theme park, which features a Despicable Me ride, in which guests are transformed into minions, which we'll get back to later. Number 14. If VillainCon sounds familiar, it's because it shares similarities to Comic-Con, as evidenced by the fact that Scarlet Overkill's panel takes place in Hall H, which is commonly used for some of Comic-Con's biggest events. I've never been there, but visiting Comic-Con is definitely on my to-do list. There's so much you can do and so many people to meet. Number 15. Just like Gargamel from the Smurfs, who makes an appearance in front of the row where the minions are sitting. Number 16. Before Scarlet's test starts to identify her henchmen, you can see Richard Nixon in the front row, preparing himself to take on her challenge before being pushed by the wrestler villain. Not sure if the crew just thought that including a US president as a fan of a villain was funny, or if they were trying to tell us something here. We'll leave this one up to you. But considering the minion trio didn't consider him as their potential boss, he can't have been such a great villain, so we have nothing to fear here. Number 17. In the scene where you see Frankie Fishlips, you can see El Macho from Despicable Me 2 at the top right. Number 18. Professor Flux is named after the flux capacitor from the Back to the Future trilogy. The flux capacitor was what made time travel possible, while Professor Flux invented the first time machine, which he uses to collect future versions of himself and bring them back as his assistants. Despicable Me 3 also features a reference to the flux capacitor when Drew pulled out a similar mechanism when taking down the robot. Number 19. In Professor Flux's booth, one of the video displays in the background is a stylized version of the PDP-1 vector display, which was the first computer in the programmed data processor series, which consisted of various mini-computers. Number 20. During Scarlet's speech on stage, you can see Mr. Perkins from Despicable Me in the background, just off-center, wearing a red vest and black tie, doing a fist pump in the air. Number 21. During VillainCon, Dr. Nefario can be seen showing off his latest invention, the freeze ray gun, to a young Gru and his mother. Later, in the end credits, young Gru is shown using it against a dinosaur. Number 22. This is the only movie in the franchise that has voiceover narration. Number 23. The narrator states that there's a minion called Paul, but the minion is never identified officially throughout all of the franchise's movies so far. Number 24. Scarlet Overkill is voiced by Sandra Bullock, and it's her first villain role. Number 25. Bullock has openly expressed that she's a fan of the movie and even wore Minion-inspired shoes to the movie's premiere. Number 26. The carpet in the lab of Herb Overkill is the same as the carpet in the Overlook Hotel in the 1980 psychological horror movie The Shining, which is based on Stephen King's novel of the same name. Number 27. The movie is set in 1968, 42 years BG, meaning before Gru. Adding 42 years to 1968 gives 2010, the year Gru and the Minions made their debut in Despicable Me. Even though the timeline in Minions marks this as the time before Gru, a young Gru does make an appearance in the movie. It's likely that it refers to the point in time when the Minions started working under him, rather than referring to Gru's time of birth. Number 28. Did you know that there are 2 Minions named Kevin? The first ever named Kevin appeared in the original Despicable Me movie when Gru picked him out of the crowd. That Kevin was never to be seen again and was seemingly replaced by the new Kevin who was introduced in this movie and would have appearances in the subsequent entries of the franchise. Maybe giving 2 similar looking minions the same name wasn't a good idea, just saying. It's already difficult telling them apart from one another, and having 2 Kevins around does not make things any easier. Number 29. In the first trailer, a minion picks up a banana from under a rock, exclaiming, "Say banana, yum yum." In French, that translates into "it's a banana, yummy." Number 30. Kevin often uses the phrase "c'est pas là," which could be interpreted as the French words "c'est par là," which means "it's that way," or as "c'est pas là," which does sound similar but would be translated as "it's not there." Number 31. The movie's trailer also contained an extended scene of Kevin getting hit in the groin by the elderly tower guard, showing that Kevin doesn't feel any pain from it, which either suggests a lack of genitalia among minions or a really high pain tolerance. Considering that the reproduction process of the minions is left up in the air, and that the survival of Kevin's tribe is more dependent on serving a master rather than on active procreation, it's safe to assume that the minions indeed do not have genitalia due to a lack of evolutionary need. Number 32. The entrance fees shown in the Tower of London are displayed in decimal currency, but England did not adopt a decimal currency until 1971. In 1968, the currency in England was pounds, shillings, and pence. Number 33. The butler from the palace is the same butler from Despicable Me 2. He can be seen serving tea at the anti-villain league to Agent Ramsbottom. Number 34. At the beginning of the movie, when the minions are climbing out of the water to become land-based creatures, the last one puts a pair of starfish on their chest. The narrator refers to him as Norbert and calls him an idiot. The term Norbert is old British slang for someone who is a few bricks shy of a load. Seems legit. Number 35. The alleyway that Kevin, Bob, and Stuart enter in New York City is the same alleyway that appears in the movie The Secret Life of Pets, which is another franchise of Illumination Entertainment and was directed by Chris Renaud, who co-directed the Despicable Me franchise movies. Number 36. When the minions are coming out of the sewer on Abbey Road, you see them come up right when the members of the Beatles cross the famous zebra crossing, which is the cover photo of their album Abbey Road. However, the Beatles are in a different order to the one shown on the album cover, as evidenced by the bare feet of Sir Paul McCartney, who appears second in the movie, but third in the actual album picture. Number 37. Among the collection of treasures, you can see a signed Jimi Hendrix guitar, signified by the playing of the song Purple Haze. The movie's trailer also features a song by Hendrix when it's shown how the minions arrive in New York City, the song called The Foxy Lady. The song can be interpreted as a hint towards the female villain of the movie, Scarlet Overkill. Number 38. The song Hair is sung in Mignonese by Stewart to mesmerize the guards with his hypno hat. This was the title song of the musical by the same name and was written by Galt McDermott. The musical, which was a celebration of hippie culture, debuted in 1968, the year the movie takes place in. Number 39. One of Scarlett's paint collections is Andy Warhol's Campbell's soup cans. There are 32 of these paintings. Each of them features a different flavor. The one Scarlett has in her collection is the tomato soup, which debuted in 1897 by the Campbell's Soup Company. The company is still making this soup. Warhol first exhibited these 32 paintings in 1962. Given the movie is set in 1968, it fits into the movie's timeline. These 32 paintings are now part of New York City's Museum of Modern Art's permanent collection. Number 40. After the minions left the mirror room, you can see a mannequin which resembles Lucy from Despicable Me 2. Number 41. The stained glass window in Westminster Cathedral features 3 priests resembling Kevin, Bob, and Stuart. A tall one and a short one, both with 2 eyes, and the third of medium height with his hand over one eye. Number 42. The crown in the Tower of London is guarded by several beefeater guards. The guard leftmost of the crown looks exactly like the UK's Prime Minister at the time of the movie's launch, David Cameron. In case you're wondering why they're called beefeaters, that's because the official title is way too long, and since King Henry VII employed the guards permanently to watch over the Tower of London, he made sure that his guards would get to eat as much beef as they wanted. We promise, we did not make this up. Number 43. The British royal crown, seen being worn by Bob during his coronation scene, can briefly be seen in Despicable Me, when the minions are all offering up treasures to help fund Gru's attempt to steal the moon. We love us some continuity. Number 44. When Bob delivers a speech at the end of his coronation, the music played is Edward Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance March No. 1 in D. This is one of the pieces used for Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953. This piece is also the most popular music for graduation walking marches in the US. Number 45. The television at the department store where the minions set up camp for the night is a Dodgson, a nod to editor Claire Dodgson. Number 46. The 3 featured TV shows watched in the department store were The Saint, Bewitched, and The Dating Game. Number 47. The fire hydrant in London is a red American-styled one. Fire hydrants in the UK are covered by yellow drain covers marked with an H. Additionally, there is always a yellow sign with a large black H on a wall nearby, so the location is easily identified. Number 48. In New York City, the shop next to the record store bears the name R. Meledandri, a nod to director Chris Meledandri. Number 49. Stewart's haircut in this movie is different from his appearance in Despicable Me. Even minions need a change of style. Number 50. When the trio first arrive at Scarlet Overkill's castle, one makes fun of the romance by turning his back and wrapping his hands around his side so it appears he's kissing someone. This is a nod to the fake-out make-out trick used by James Bond in Diamonds Are Forever. Number 51. When Scarlet Overkill asks the minions if they know who Queen Elizabeth is, Kevin answers in Spanish, saying La Cucaracha, which means the cockroach. This is likely a nod to the fact that cockroaches are notoriously difficult to get rid of, and managed to survive for so long. And yeah, we're aware that this did not age well. Long live the Queen. Number 52. In a review by the late American movie critic Roger Ebert of Despicable Me 2, the phrase "therein lies the rub" is used in the first paragraph. 2 years later, the line is used in the opening scenes of this movie, describing the difficulty in keeping a boss. Number 53. When the minions come ashore in New York City, the ship in the background is the SS France, an ocean liner which was later purchased by Norwegian Cruise Lines and renamed the SS Norway. In its later life, following a boiler explosion, the SS Norway was scrapped off the coast of India. The SS France was first put into service in February 1962, so by the time of the movie, it had been in service for 6 years. Number 54. Like with Despicable Me 2, some cast members from previous movies in the franchise appear with a different role, which applies to Steve Coogan, who voices Professor Flux in this movie, and Silas Ramsbottom in the other movies in the franchise. Number 55. This is Illumination Entertainment's first movie in which a studio member is mentioned during the casting call of the main cast members outside the credits. In this case, director Pierre Coffin, who voiced the minions. Number 56. This is also the first entry in the franchise to not have any characters voiced by Ken Jeong, who had a minor role in Despicable Me and later voiced Floyd Eagleson in Despicable Me 2. Number 57. The minions' goggles change during the movie. After arriving in NYC, Stewart, Bob, and Kevin are given their shiny silver goggles from the Despicable Me movies, whereas the other minions that arrive after the showdown with Scarlet still have the original gold-colored ones. In the last scene with the Queen, the rest of the minions have all the new style goggles as well. Number 58. The Despicable Me theme is heard at least 3 times in the movie. When Kevin, Stewart, and Bob are hitchhiking to Orlando, at the end when young Gru appears, and when Kevin, Stewart, and Bob are breaking into the Tower of London. Number 59. In the trailer, the minions had another boss, a knight who was killed because the minions were mopping the floor and he slipped. This character doesn't appear in the final cut of the movie. Number 60. In anticipation of the movie's release, the company Pantone, known for its custom color system, announced its first ever character branded color, based on Illumination Entertainment's trademark Minions, which was dubbed as Minion Yellow. The idea for a customized color based on the Minions was pitched by singer Pharrell Williams, who helped in coming up with the music for the movie franchise. Number 61. Depending on the country the movie's shown in, the bulk of the minions trek from Australia to differing countries, including at least India and Japan. Number 62. After the family robs the bank, the song that plays is I'm a Man by the Spencer Davis Group. This song also plays in one of the episodes in the last season of Mad Men, introducing the show's main character Don Draper, who was played by John Hamm. John Hamm voices Herb Overkill. Number 63. There are references to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's opera The Magic Flute scattered in the Minions' gibberish, in scenes associated with fire hydrants. Stewart calls the fire hydrant he falls for Papagena. In Mozart's opera, Papagena is the name of a female figure who is the love interest of a bird catcher named Papageno. The tune Kevin whistles later on when he releases the spray from underneath a fire hydrant resembles the first line of the aria, Der Vogelfänger bin ich ja, from the same opera, which is sung by Papageno. Number 64. During the Wolf bedtime story, the background music is Sergei Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf, Opus 67 Allegro. Number 65. When Stewart is presented with the guitar at the end of the movie, he plays the guitar solo of Van Halen's Eruption. Given the movie was set in 1968, while Eruption was released in 1978, this means that Stewart played this nearly 10 years before Van Halen. Stewart, you better secure your copyright for this song and get those royalties. Number 66. The song the Minions sing to the Yetis is Donald O'Connor's Make 'Em Laugh from Singin' in the Rain. Number 67. Minions was the last of its franchise to be produced at 1.85 to 1. Number 68. The news broadcast along with many TV shows that are shown in the movie are in color. However, in 1968, the only British TV channel in color was BBC 2, which didn't show news bulletins. The other two channels at the time, BBC One and ITV, didn't get color until 1969, a year after the movie's time. Number 69. There's a short musical scene after the credits where all the characters from the movie dance together until they're chased off by the T-Rex from the beginning of the movie. Number 70. A young Gru appears at the end of the movie. The Minions follow him and have a few escapades with him during the end credits, which serves as an introduction to the sequel, The Rise of Gru. Number 71. Due to production taking place during the COVID-19 pandemic, the movie was affected in various ways that would later change the course of events. Number 72. The movie was originally set to release in time for the franchise's 10th anniversary on July 3rd, 2020, to coincide with the release of the original Despicable Me movie on July 9th, 2010. After a series of pushbacks, the movie eventually received its final release date for July 1st, 2022, almost 2 full years past the originally planned release. Number 73. With that, it became the longest advertised animated movie in motion picture history, as well as Illumination's longest delayed movie ever, due to a nearly 2.5-year gap between its first trailer and its official release. Number 74. Because it was originally going to be released in July 2020, McDonald's had Happy Meal toys made for the movie in late June of 2020 through late July 2020, despite the movie not coming out till 2022. In addition, there were 50 different toys in the set, 2 of which were special gold Minions. Number 75. Similarly, the LEGO Group released a line of sets based on the movie in 2020 before its release. Number 76. The Rise of Gru marks the first movie in the franchise not to be directed by Pierre Coffin. The movie was directed by Kyle Balda, who previously co-directed the Minions prequel and The Lorax, another movie by Illumination Entertainment. Number 77. The Rise of Gru was dedicated in memory of animator Madeline Montero, who died during production of the movie. Number 78. Young Gru has the same voice actor as his adult version. Both are spoken by Steve Carell, whose voice has been pitched in order to make him sound more youthful in the movie. Number 79. The Despicable Me trilogy features main antagonists who are male, those being Vector, El Macho, and Balthazar Brat. The prequels feature main female villains, Scarlet Overkill and Bell Bottom. Number 80. The original soundtrack contains cover versions of 1970s hits, while the movie features the actual versions by the real artists. For example, Goodbye My Love is performed by Phoebe Bridgers on the soundtrack, while in the movie it is performed by the Carpenters. Number 81. During Gru's escape from the Vicious Six, a pedestrian can be heard yelling, "Hey, I'm walking here." This is an homage to Dustin Hoffman's improv in the drama movie Midnight Cowboy, when a cab intruded on the filming and Hoffman improvised the famous line. Number 82. Gru goes into an ice cream shop and skips the line by spraying all the customers with his cheese ray, yelling, "Cheese ray, cheese ray, cheese ray." This is a reference to the first Despicable Me movie in which he freezes all the customers at a coffee shop with his freeze ray, yelling, "Freeze ray, freeze ray, freeze ray." This might be a hint that Gruley likely kept the freeze ray that was first introduced to him by Dr. Nefario at VillainCon or modified it later on. Number 83. Teenagers belonging to Gen Z created a viral TikTok trend under the hashtag #GentleMinions by attending the movie en masse dressed up in suits. It was prevalent enough that several movie theaters had to ban the teens due to disruptions. Number 84. Sitting at a running time of 1 hour and 27 minutes, this is the shortest movie in the franchise, after Despicable Me 3 at 1 hour and 29 minutes. Number 85. The movie opens with a traditional James Bond opening credit sequence. Michelle Yeoh, who voices Master Chow, starred in the James Bond movie Tomorrow Never Dies. Number 86. The movie parodies the wuxia movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which also stars Michelle Yeoh. 87. The Rise of Gru is set in 1976, 8 years after the previous movie in the prequel series. This is made clear in the opening shot, which shows the number 1976 on a big sign. Number 88. When Gru enters the waiting room in the Vicious Six headquarters, one of the villains is reading a copy of Mad Magazine. The cover has an image of a poster congratulating Richard Nixon's presidential win. This particular magazine had 2 front covers, one on the front and one on the back. When flipped over, the back cover had the same scene but congratulating John F. Kennedy's presidential campaign. This was issue number 60, which came out in January 1961. At the time it was being prepared, the election was just about to take place, making the actual winner impossible to guess. Number 89. The beginning of the movie shows an ad for Jaws, which was first released in 1975, a year before the movie's events. Jaws was the movie that made director Kyle Balda want to become a filmmaker. Number 90. Gru's mother listens to Funky Town. Funky Town was also used in the Shrek series when Shrek was visiting the Queen. Both Gru's mother and the Queen from Shrek are played by Julie Andrews. Number 91. During the Easy Rider scene, as they walk up the freeway, one of the minions pulls faces at his reflection in the rear of a tanker trailer, copying Mac from Cars when he did the same thing. Number 92. In China, the movie received an alternate ending that retconned Wild Knuckles' death by replacing the scene of his funeral with a slideshow explaining that he was arrested for 20 years and later pursued a career in acting. Number 93. Stuart has a Scarlet Overkill lunchbox, the villain that the minions worked for in the previous movie. Number 94. Universal spent a whopping $285 million on the movie's marketing, the biggest campaign for a Despicable Me movie to date. Number 95. If you ever visit Universal Studios, don't miss out on visiting the Minion Mayhem Motion Simulator, which features the movie's voice cast and invites attendees to join Gru and his fellow group of minions in their ranks. The ride attraction was the result of a collaboration between Illumination Entertainment and Universal Orlando, which entailed the creation of a new story around Gru and his minions with new animation for the ride. Number 96. According to director Kyle Balda, a majority of the movie was completed within the first 3 years of production, spanning idea to completion. In fact, production was nearly complete right before the pandemic hit. From then on, it was a waiting game that the team carried out for 2 years before their finished work could see the light of day, since Universal was intent on releasing the movie in theaters. Number 97. In celebration of the movie's release, Universal created an official reimagining of The Office and uploaded it to the series' official YouTube channel. Instead of the original cast, the opening features Gru in the role of Michael Scott, both played by Steve Carell, and his minions in CGI. Number 98. This is the first theatrically released animated movie of all time to confirm its BBFC age rating before the first trailer. Number 99. Prior to the premieres of Minions and Minions: The Rise of Gru, a tie-in junior novel based on each movie was released by the American publisher Little Brown. Number 100. If you want more of the Minions, look no further. The UK publisher Titan Comics has been releasing a series of various comics and graphic novels since 2015 that are based on the prequels. Number 101. Besides books and comics, the franchise has also sparked a bunch of video games featuring the Minions, including Minion Rush, which is an endless running game which shares similarities to Sega's mobile game Sonic Dash. Number 102. Among the franchise's series of video games, there is an interesting link to the aforementioned theme park simulator. The video game Despicable Me the Game comes in 3 versions, 2 of which are for the Wii and PlayStation home consoles. The Nintendo DS version, however, was released under the title Despicable Me the Game Minion Mayhem. Number 103. The Minions also make another appearance at Universal Studios Beijing in its Minion Land area, which is a part of the resort's Themed Land series. The area offers various attractions and rides based on the movie franchise. Number 104. When it comes to sheer size though, Universal Studios Japan's Minions Park is ahead of the previously mentioned theme park attractions, and is reported to be the world's largest Minion area. Not only does it feature themed rides, but it also comes with Minions themed restaurants, various stores, as well as other fun and unique attractions for visitors of all ages. Number 105. Bob was immortalized through his footprints on the cement of Grauman's Chinese theater located on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. It's a funny image, especially if you consider that there was a real person inside the person who got to live the Minion fame. I think if I were in that costume, I would have just replaced the fake feet with my own, but that's certainly a way to leave your footprint. 106. In 2017, it was confirmed that a fourth Despicable Me movie is in development, which later received a release date for July 3rd, 2024. Number 107. Upon release, this will mark the franchise as Illumination Entertainment's first tetralogy. And to cap things off, why not enjoy a Frederator collaboration? Almost a decade ago, we had channel Frederator network animators put together all sorts of awesome animations about the Minions, and we called it Minions. Minions everywhere. Enjoy.
Ah, yes. Time for a after-work relaxation routine. I have my remote in one hand and customary relaxing bunny house slippers on my feet. Time to watch America's favorite pastime, TV. Ah.
Banana.
Oh boy, those minions. For such little guys, they cause big trouble, don't they? The little scamps.
Let me know which one's your favorite. And with that, we've come to the end of our Despicable Me compilation. Did you learn anything new? Have you seen Despicable Me 4 in theaters? Will you be seeing it again? Let me know down in the comments and subscribe for more like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, Frederator loves you.